The night presses in, thick and silent. Shadows cling to the corners, stretching across the floor like spilled ink. There is a hush, broken only by the soft, uneasy breath of the house itself. In this darkness, a name stirs. John Wayne Gacy. They called him the killer clown. But tonight, we drift quietly into the spaces where his story waits, patient and cold. A gentle dusk settles over the quiet streets. Lawns, clipped with care, stretch in perfect lines beneath the amber glow of porch lights. Somewhere, laughter drifts, soft, muffled, almost unreal. In this hush, a figure moves, blending with the shadows, neither seen nor remembered. The world exhales, unaware of what lingers just beyond the edge of its comfort. The mask stretches, a painted smile, too wide, too bright beneath the dim lights. Laughter drifts through the room, soft and sticky, as Gacy moves among the guests. Children giggle, entranced by the colors. Yet the air feels heavy, as if the shadows themselves are watching. Behind the grease paint, something cold flickers, an emptiness that no one seems to notice. The party goes on, but the silence beneath the laughter lingers, patient, waiting. Something subtle begins to change. The familiar rhythm of the neighborhood falters. Neighbors pause, uncertain, as faint, sour odors drift through the night air. From behind closed windows, muffled sounds echo, soft scraping, a low, persistent hum. The basement door, always shut, seems to pulse with a quiet presence. The air thickens, pressing gently against the skin, as if the house itself is holding its breath. A creeping sense of dread seeps into the corners of the room, slow, deliberate, like a chill that never leaves. Gacy's charm hangs heavy in the air, too smooth, too practiced. His smile never quite reaching his eyes. Laughter drifts, hollow and distant, echoing against the walls long after he's gone. Silence grows thick, stretching between his words, swallowing every sound. In the quiet, something unseen watches, waiting. Beneath the quiet floorboards, the darkness thickens. Each step echoes softly, swallowed by the hush. In Gacy's home, walls lean close, and the air grows heavy with secrets. Shadows gather in corners, unmoving, almost watching. The basement waits below, silent, cold, its emptiness stretching on, deeper than it should. The room bends softly at the edges, shadows pooling where the walls should meet. The clown's painted smile drips, colors bleeding into the silence, curling at the corners in ways that should not be. Familiar objects, chairs, a clock, a single glove seem to tilt, watching with eyes that aren't there. Each breath is thick, heavy with secrets, as if the air itself conspires to keep something hidden. In this place, nothing is quite as it seems, and the world feels quietly wrong. The silence grows heavier, as names are whispered in trembling voices. Faces once familiar now flicker with doubt, eyes darting away in the gloom. Shadows stretch longer in empty streets, swallowing laughter and warmth. Each unanswered question lingers, cold and sharp, between neighbors who no longer meet each other's gaze. Something precious has slipped away, leaving only suspicion and the echo of missing footsteps. The silence presses in, heavy and unbroken. Each breath seems to echo in the gloom. Police move quietly, their footsteps muffled by the weight of what they cannot see. Gacy sits among them, his expression unreadable, serene, almost inviting. The air thickens, as if the room itself is holding its breath, waiting for something to shift in the shadows. The air is thick, heavy with the scent of wet soil and something older, hidden deep beneath the surface. Light trembles on the walls, casting shadows that shift and curl, never quite still. The stone seems to pulse, as if the basement itself inhales and exhales in slow, uneasy rhythm. Footsteps land softly, yet each one is swallowed by a hush that presses close, making the silence feel alive. Every echo lingers, stretching out, waiting for something to answer from the darkness. The unraveling begins softly, a thread pulled in silence, barely noticed at first. Each piece of evidence settles into the darkness, quiet as dust on old floorboards. The horror does not announce itself. It waits, patient, seeping into the corners of the room, growing heavier with every small discovery. Shadows lengthen, and the air thickens, as if something unseen is drawing closer, step by silent step. The truth seeps in slowly, like dampness through old walls. Gacy's secrets, once hidden in shadow, are now exposed to the cold light. The facts are sharp, unsettling, but it's the silence that lingers, heavy and suffocating, pressing against the chest. The world seems quieter now, but not in a comforting way. Safety feels distant, as if something essential has slipped just out of reach. Questions drift through the darkness, soft, persistent, unanswered. Why did no one see? How did something so twisted nestle quietly behind a painted smile? Each answer dissolves before it can be grasped, fading into the hush between heartbeats. Only the shadows remain, stretching, silent, patient. In the emptiness, something watches, and the night feels heavier than before. After the sirens fade, a silence settles, thick and unmoving. The basement stands hollow now, its secrets scraped away, but the air is swollen with something that refuses to leave. Shadows cling to the corners, stretching long and thin, as if afraid of the light. Each breath feels borrowed, heavy with memories that stain the walls. The house does not forget. It waits, quietly, for footsteps that will never return. The room grows still. Shadows settle in the corners, swallowing the last traces of painted laughter. The clown's smile dissolves, leaving behind only a hollow hush, an emptiness that stretches on and on. In the quiet, questions remain, soft, unspoken, and cold as the dark. Nothing moves. The silence presses closer, heavy with things unseen. And the story does not end. Not really.